A study in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 29, where there is no vision. He who is often reproved yet stiffens his neck will suddenly be broken beyond healing. When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. He who loves wisdom makes his father glad, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. By justice a king builds up the land, but he who exacts gifts tears it down. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. An evil man is ensnared in his transgression, but a righteous man sings and rejoices. A righteous man knows the rights of the poor. A wicked man does not understand such knowledge. Scoffers set a city aflame, but the wise turn away wrath. If a wise man has an argument with a fool, the fool only rages and laughs, and there is no quiet. Bloodthirsty men hate one who is blameless and seek the life of the upright. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. If a ruler listens to falsehood, all his officials will be wicked. The poor man and the oppressor meet together. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both. If a king faithfully judges the poor, his throne will be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. When the wicked increase, transgression increases, but the righteous will look upon their downfall. Discipline your son, and he will give you rest. He will give delight to your heart. Where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. By mere words a servant is not disciplined, for though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man who is hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Whoever pampers his servant from childhood will in the end find him his heir. A man of wrath stirs up strife, and one given to anger causes much transgression. One's pride will bring him low, but he who is lowly in spirit will obtain honor. The partner of a thief hates his own life. He hears the curse, but discloses nothing. The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. Many seek the face of a ruler, but it is from the Lord that a man gets justice. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, but one whose way is straight is an abomination to the wicked. Our proverb for the day is verse 18. Where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. Do you know why people want to travel to Germany to drive on the Autobahn? Well, let me tell you. Generally, it's not because of the scenery. It's because they have been told there is no speed limit law. You're free to drive as fast as you want. That's what appeals to people. You know, they have tried without success to pass laws to slow people down. Why do they want to do that? Too many reckless drivers. That's right. When there are no laws governing speed, people become reckless. Well, not to burst your bubble, but there really are speed limits on some portions due to curves and other conditions. There are actually places in the world today that have no laws. Lawless places. But you might want to do some research before you pack your bags to move to a place with no laws. Remember, no laws, no police, no courts to protect you. The country of Libya descended into lawlessness during the Arab Spring beginning in 2010. Somalia is another country. There's a region between Afghanistan and Pakistan known as Fatah. It is a lawless region. You know who's attracted to these places? People seeking lower taxes? Nope. Vacationers? Not on your life. Those attracted are terrorists, murderers, and criminals. That's who loves lawless havens. Well, what on earth does this have to do with our proverb today? Well, turns out, plenty. Here are some renderings of this verse and other translations. The New American Standard Version reads, "Where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained, but happy is he who keeps the law." The Holman Christian Standard Bible reads, "Without revelation, people run wild, but one who listens to instruction will be happy." The New International Revised Version reads, "Where there is no message from God, the people don't control themselves, but blessed are those who obey the law." The Hebrew word for cast off restraint, unrestrained, and don't control themselves, and run wild in these various translations is the word para. It is interesting that this same word is used when Moses was on the mountain receiving the Ten Commandments, while the people were down below casting an idol. Here's what Moses observed in Exodus 32:25. "And when Moses saw that the people had broken loose, for Aaron had let them break loose to the derision of their enemies, they turned to idols and lost all restraint." Verse 6 tells us, "And they rose up early the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play." What a lawless situation. We have seen examples of nations that have sunk into lawlessness and the conditions it produced. We have actually witnessed this recently in our own country, when crowds of people stand in opposition to the law and those who enforce it, and the devastation that it wrought. The same is true for people who profess to hold to God's laws and guidance when they either suddenly or gradually turn their backs on that nurturing and guiding word. The prophet Hosea gives insight into what happens to people of God who turn their back on his word. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6 reads, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from being a priest to me. And since you have forgotten the law of your God, I also will forget your children." Paul gives a sobering commentary on those who became wise in their own eyes in Romans chapter 1. We begin reading in verses 21. "For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their own thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools." If you want to see what happened to them, continue reading in that chapter. Does turning our back on God's word, either as a nation, a church, or individually, does it really seem that wise to you? And Lord willing, we'll meet again tomorrow.